In this video we're going to look at backtracking and the use of the cut predicate in Prolog. So on the left here we can see some code. We have a rule here and we also have a fact here. So this bit of code checks whether or returns the greater of two numbers entered. So here we are querying this code. We've assigned 8 to A and 6 to B, and we've left the last argument as a variable x. So x should return the greater of 8 or 6, so it should return 8. So in the first line here we can see that Prolog has initiated or instantiated the variable x to a default value. Then Prolog has gone into the right hand side body here and checked whether A is greater than B, and that has returned true, which means that x now gets instantiated to the value of 8 and it prints it out. But if we select backtracking with the use of the semicolon, we go into the backtracking, and once again that x gets uninstantiated and assigned to a default value by Prolog. Currently we're now in this part of the code, so the second line, because Prolog moves from top to bottom. So we've entered A as 8, B as 6, so B is instantiated to 6, so x gets instantiated to 6. So you can see two values have been returned when we only wanted one value, 8. So let's try flipping the numbers around. Put the 6 first in the first argument and 8 in the second argument. We can see that once again Prolog assigns the default value to x. It then checks the right hand side of the rule, is A greater than B, and that returns false. It then tries to backtrack and move into the second line of the code, once again uninstantiating x and assigning it that default value, which in this case is the same. Then it assigns x, or instantiates x to 8, because we have a b instantiated to 8 and b is already 8, so x gets instantiated to 8 in that third argument position. Let's now see what the cut predicate does to this if we add this predicate in. So we can see we've added the cut predicate here. It is simply a exclamation mark. So the cut will stop the backtracking. So we have 8 in the first argument, 6 in the second argument, which is the same as this one here. So we can see backtracking did occur here, but this time backtracking didn't occur. So once again Prolog has assigned the default value to x. It has gone into the first line of code, checked whether A is greater than B. So remember A has been assigned 8 and B is 6. So that returns true. So x gets instantiated to that last position of 8 and it prints it out. And we can see Prolog has automatically added the full stop on the end to end the execution there. So that is one use of the cut predicate. We can see if we swap the arguments here, make the 6 in the first argument and the 8 in the second argument, we do get backtracking, because in the first line we get a failure and Prolog tries to needs to instantiate that variable, so it searches further. So we can see in the first line, Prolog has assigned or instantiated x to a default value. It's gone in and checked whether 6 is greater than 8 in this part here, and that has failed because 6 is less than 8. So because of this failure, it has gone into backtracking to try and instantiate this x to something. So it's gone into the second line here, firstly assigning a default value to x, and then because a is 6 and b is 8, b also gets assigned to 8, so our x gets instantiated to 8. So we can see here we've returned the correct value, and it doesn't matter which argument we put the 6 or 8 in, the first or the second.